The Skull Cavern in Stardew Valley can be quite a terrifying place to be, especially if you're not well equipped to deal with the monsters. Besides having a strong weapon to fend them off, you can also equip additional rings that grant you special benefits. In the 1.6 update, there are also new trinkets that come with unique abilities when equipped. Here are some of the best trinkets and rings in the game and how you can obtain them. Before we dive in, some basic info on trinkets. Once you've obtained the combat mastery, you'll unlock a new equipment slot for trinkets. There are 7 trinkets that can be obtained from monster drops, breaking crates and barrels while mining, or from Skull Cavern treasure rooms. There is one more trinket, the magic hair gel, that can only be purchased from Alex's shop during the desert festival. All trinkets except the magic hair gel and the basilisk paw will have a stat attached to it that can be reforged using the anvil to increase the effectiveness of the trinket. Now that we've covered the basics, here are my top 3 favorite trinkets to use. Firstly, the parrot egg trinket causes monsters to drop gold coins when slain, each worth 250 gold. The chance of enemies dropping coins increases with the parrot's level. For instance, a level 1 parrot will have a coin drop chance of 10%, while a level 4 parrot will have a coin drop chance of 40%. You can use the anvil to reroll the stats on your parrot trinket until it reaches the highest level 4, but note that the maximum possible level depends on your total earnings, meaning you'll need at least 2.25 million gold to have a chance to obtain the level 4 parrot. I like to spray some monster musk and head to the Skull Cavern to kill a bunch of monsters for some extra fun and gold with the parrot trinket. Next, the fairy box summons a fairy companion that heals you in combat situations. Similar to the parrot egg trinket, the frequency and amount of health regained depend on the fairy's level, which ranges from 1 to 5. The fairy level can also be rerolled using the anvil to obtain the highest level 5 for greater and more frequent healing. Third, the ice rod shoots an orb of ice every few seconds, freezing any enemies in its path for a while. The frequency and duration of ice shots can be changed by re-rolling the stats of the ice rod using the anvil, similar to the other trinkets. This is pretty useful to stop monsters in their path and avoid getting swarmed in the mines or Skull Cavern. Other trinkets available include the magic quiver, frog egg, basilisk paw, golden spur, and the magic hair gel. The magic quiver shoots a magic arrow at nearby enemies every few seconds, dealing damage to enemies. While this is useful to keep enemies at bay, it doesn't do enough damage to kill the enemies, and I find it a bit of a hindrance due to the knockback effect it has on monsters that makes it trickier for me to kill them using my own weapon. The frog egg spawns a frog which follows you around and tries to consume a nearby enemy. While this could help you stay alive, enemies eaten by the frog will not drop anything and do not count as kills towards quests or monster eradication goals. The basilisk paw makes you immune to debuffs, which is nice to have but not particularly useful if I have a good enough weapon that helps me avoid debuffs from monsters. The golden spur enables critical strikes to give you a speed boost for a few seconds, which is again nice to have but not so useful, given I always stock up on triple shot espressos and spicy eels when heading into the mines or Skull Cavern for the extra speed boost. Lastly, the magic hair gel makes your hair shimmer with all the colors of a prismatic shard, which is aesthetically pleasing but has no functional benefit in the mines. Now that we've covered trinkets, let's move on to the best rings in the game. Since there are 30 different rings in the game, I'll only be covering a couple of them, including my top 5 favorite rings to equip. Before we dive in, some basics of rings. There are 2 slots for you to equip your rings at any given time, but once you've unlocked Ginger Island and the Forge in the Volcano Dungeon, you'll have the ability to combine 2 rings together, meaning you'll be able to equip the powers of up to 4 rings at the same time. My favorite ring is the Napalm ring, which explodes when you kill a monster, destroying nearby objects and rocks but does not damage you. This is extremely useful for clearing rocks quickly in the mines or Skull Cavern, especially if you don't have enough coal to craft bombs. In the 1.6 update, the Napalm ring also gives you a new warning about truffles that could be monsters. You can obtain it as a reward from the Adventurers Guild after killing 250 serpents in the Skull Cavern. Next, the Burglar Ring allows monsters to drop twice as much loot on average, and it also stacks with the effects from the Monster Compendium book, which increases the chances of monsters dropping double loot. This is a great way to get some extra items from slaying monsters during your Skull Cavern runs. You can obtain it as a reward from the Adventurers Guild after killing 500 dust sprites. The Iridium Band glows, attracts items, and increases attack damage by 10%. It can be crafted at combat level 9 and is extremely useful for lighting up your path at night, getting items that are hard to reach, and makes killing monsters slightly easier. The Lucky Ring increases your luck by 1 point and can be dropped in the Skull Cavern or Quarry Mine, or obtained through panning. Given that luck affects many different aspects of the game, such as the chance to find ladders or treasure rooms while mining, or the chance to find treasure chests while fishing, having increased luck can make your playthroughs even smoother and more fruitful. The Hot Java Ring gives you a 25% chance for monsters to drop coffee on each kill, and a 10% chance to drop a triple shot espresso if it fails to drop coffee. Coffee is one of the most important items I store in my inventory, since speed boosts are not only important on mining runs, but also for getting around Stardew Valley quickly. Coffee also sells for 150 gold each, and triple shot espresso sells for 450 gold. So if you have extra coffees lying around, you can always sell them for some additional gold. Other notable rings include the Slime Charmer ring, which prevents any damage from slimes, and can be obtained from the Adventurers Guild as a reward after eradicating 1000 slimes. The Thorns ring, where monsters take damage equivalent to the damage done to you, and can be crafted at combat level 7. Rings that increase your attack efficiency. The Aquamarine ring increases your critical strike chance by 10%. The Jade ring that increases critical strike power by 10%. The Emerald ring that increases weapon speed by 10%. And the Ruby ring that increases attack by 10%. The first two can be purchased from the Adventurers Guild after reaching level 40 in the mines, while the other two can be purchased after reaching level 80 in the mines. Rings that increase your defense. The Immunity Band that increases your immunity by 4 points and can be dropped as a special item in the Skull Cavern or levels 100 plus in the mines. The Crab Shell ring that increases your defense by 5 points and can be obtained from the Adventurers Guild as a reward after eradicating 60 rock crabs. And those are some of the best trinkets and rings to use in Stardew Valley. But of course, the trinkets and rings you choose to equip also depend on your playing style and objectives, so the best ones to use may look slightly different to you. Let me know in the comments what your favorite trinkets and rings are, and do hit the like and subscribe buttons if you found this helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.